Good morning, guys. It's Calvin, Coaching Company New Zealand. Right, we're working on Brian's in Australia. I've got it running. You see me sending me some videos back and forth. Maybe I could grab some videos. Let's see if I can get some videos happening, eh? Here we go.
So I think it's fuel related. How do I add fuel?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, oh, we'll stop there now. Okay, so that's one of the videos they sent me. It does seem to be fuel related, doesn't it? He told me it doesn't rev over about 2 grand or 2,000 RPM. Look at the wiring job, looking lovely. Looking pretty good there. Right. And then the last video he sent me for Friday was... And he was heading away racing for the weekend.
Tools down.
So that gave me a bit of time to try and sort some video out. Right, let's get in. And it's Monday morning because I was busy doing other stuff. As per my normal instructions, I always ask for both the tune profile and a log file. Okay, there is there, and that's so. I just have to double click it. That's how I aren't adjusting an old file that might have had some stuff changed in it. Okay, and then we're going to pull up some logging. We go logging, and now I asked Brian to do me a PC log because it grabs all the data. So he goes and he pushes record, records it, then saves it, puts it in a file, and sends it over to me. It's a little bit different to an ECU log file download that only gives what's been recorded in the ECU, or what's been set to record. And sometimes there's some other stuff in there when you're trying to diagnose a PC log as a more effective way of getting all that data. So I've got to find it. I've downloaded it. There we go. Look at that. Ooh. Right. So it's sitting at 400 RPM. We've got trig 1 and we've got trig 2. So the triggers are doing what they should. So that's a pretty good start. Now this screen, this ECU isn't my main logging one. It's my laptop one at home. So I've got all sorts of different stuff on it, which may not be 100% suitable for diagnosing problems. That's all right. We can just set it up. So I've got knock, can. We've just got the normal logging somewhere in here. Oh, no, there's a Lambda one. That's what I'm wanting. I'm wanting a Lambda one. It's got a fuel table here. Engine RPM. Map. There's the TPS. There's the Lambda target. And there's the Lambdas. We've only got Lambda 1. And it is saying it is at 54.33. That's like off the scale, extremely lean. So it does point towards a fuel type problem, doesn't it? Okay. We've got some injector there. We didn't see what happens here. So when we have a TPS climbing, but it was only climbing slightly slowly. He gets the throttle open. The map. Now I'm going to say it decreases. Goes closer to wide open throttle. How about that? Oh, we've got like a 48. It's like the internal lambda's trying to work. Okay, So at this point, I can't do too much because the Lambda's either the vehicle's very, very, very lean, or the Lambda isn't working correctly. So these are two issues that need to be resolved. We can probably look at some throttle settings. Now this one is in is using the drive-by-wire. Okay, so you use the base idle, and I'm going to check what he's got it set under. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go idle speed setup. Ignition idle control is on. Okay, so e-throttle and open loop. He's got a 2k an hour speed lockout. I don't know whether he's got a speed sensor in. I think he might have been thinking about it. Wheel speed. So he does have a wheel speed. Okay, so he's got a wheel speed going in. So that's all right for that idle speed. Going back to the idle speed. Over 1500 RPM, it just defaults back to the main map for the e-throttle. And he's got a lockout at 50. Now there's a chance when it's idling, is it getting enough vacuum? So sitting there, idling very, very low, it is not going into the idle mode. It's not turning on. So we need to see 50 kPa, and at no point there does it do that. Stretch this out. 75. So we've looked here. We're not going into that idle setup, that idle control correctly. It tries, there's throttle open, and there's hold map. There's throttle open, there's hold map. There's throttle open, hold map. So straight away we can see that there's a problem. There's a vacuum problem with the engine. Okay, it's not doing what it should. So and maybe I can do something. Okay, so Brian needs to get the engine running properly. Okay, so that's what we're here. Does it need more fuel? He gives it some fuel and it seems to increase. I may need to jump in on TeamViewer on this one and have a bit of a look and get him to do some tests rather than trying to do it over logs. I'm going to go through and see if I find something else in here. I'll do that off camera soon. But what I'm thinking Brian does, just as a thought, is we need to get some vacuum. So we need to check the map sensor calibration, which I can do here. Analog inputs, map sensor, and it should say internal. No, it doesn't. It's not internal. It's a Fury. And he's got a link 3 bar. Okay. So providing he's got a link 3 bar, of course he goes up here, map sensor calibration, it'll say pass or fail. I can't do it because I don't have the vehicle attached. So he needs to confirm the map sensor's calibration is good. He needs to check that there's no air leaks on this engine. He needs to check his base timing, which I believe he may have done, but I'm going to double check. He'll be watching this, he'll go, all right, okay, we need to double check that. Then I think it needs just to bang some more fuel and to see if it makes a difference. Real easy to do. We can do here fuel setup. Now it's on modeled. Righto. I've had just a quick look over. Now, one of the things you can do to cheat it says here that he's got 500cc injectors in it. So I'm going to confirm with Brian that it does have 500cc injectors in it. If you put in a bigger injector on the same pulse width, it will flow more fuel. But if you've got a situation where you think it's too lean, if you put in a smaller injector, or you tell the computer it's got a smaller injector, it's going to put more fuel in. So one way when you're on modeled is you might go 400 cc's, 300 cc's, and you use that like a master fuel, and it'll change the whole map. The goal here is to get it set up correctly, and this is a cheat. Okay, if you're not running 500cc, if you are running 500cc injectors, it's a cheat to find out what's going on. It's like a diagnostic tool. Ideally, of course, you want to have the correct injector settings when you finish, but it may enable you to find problems. I'm going to leave that where it is at the moment, because Brian will be watching this video and he can work out what needs to be done there. You can, of course, go down here, grab this table. You can just go and push page up. To try and get more fuel in. Okay. There are some, all page down if you want to take fuel out. When it's sitting and running, and what I'm going to do, I can actually do this. I can go to the Lambda table. I can go to here. I can go back to oh, it's on the map anyway. It's on here. And I can push play. And we can see here it's sitting at the bottom of the screen. Now, that's showing that the engine's got no vacuum, or the computer's picking up, or the reading to the computer is no vacuum or very low vacuum. There could be a problem with the line to the map sensor, but it shouldn't be down there. Okay, it may actually be so rich that it's misfiring, as may be while it is down there as well. But we've got no vacuum, guys. Brian, that's a problem, and that needs to be addressed. You can see it shouldn't be sitting there. It should be sitting at the other side. We're just running through it again. It should be sitting up here. Should be sitting up in this zone here. So there is definitely some sort of vacuum type problem. The other things you can do, of course, is grab your vacuum gauge, put your vacuum gauge on it, check you've got some vacuum. The fuel in might help. Is it just there isn't enough fuel and the injector setting is wrong? I'm going to have a chat with Brian about that. It was easy just to jump in here. This, I haven't rehearsed this. I've paused it a couple of times. You'll see the skips. But most of the time I'm sitting here looking and going through it and checking. So I can feed back to Brian. He knows what he needs to check. He's got some ideas to check. But we also need to get a Lambda that is reliable. The other thing you can do is, while you're sitting here, you can put a bit of engine start up and see if that Lambda comes to where it should go to. We've got some live data to check that sort of stuff. So anyway, I'm going to click out of this, let Brian do his stuff, send it over. I think he's at work today. He did say he was at work. He has school holidays, being a teacher. We're still in the middle of school holidays over here in New Zealand, and not that it makes a difference, because I'm hidden in the middle of the back blocks. Right. Hope that helps, Brian. Have a look at, see what you find. Come back to me. Actually, I was too soon. Checking at the Lambda. Right there, look, operating okay and the temperature's good. So it might just be that it's really lean. Or, hey, a big air leak. Right, now I'm signing off.